Hey guys, this is Ryan with Row 9 Studios, and we're here today with our very first book drop.
Words are, in my not so humble opinion, our most inexhaustible source of magic.
Today's book drop is all about a book that I really love. It's part of a series that is ongoing right now. So far, there are 2 books out, and the third one's coming out in February and March of 2020. I cannot wait for the third installment, but today we're going to talk about the first installment, which is called Nevermoor, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. This book is by an author named Jessica Townsend. She is from Australia. She spent some time in London also, but she makes her home in Australia. And I have to tell you, as a debut, you can't get much better than this. I remember when Harry Potter first came out, the Sorcerer's Stone, and then every book after that, it captured my imagination like nothing else had. I read The Lord of the Rings and I loved it, but Harry Potter really captured my imagination, and I flew through those books because I just couldn't get enough of what J.K. Rowling gave to us. And I hadn't had that feeling about a book series until I got to Nevermoor, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. And it wasn't a surprise that in Australia they called her the Australian J.K. Rowling. And she has definitely lived up to that. So I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about Nevermoor. The main character in Nevermoor, The Trials of Morrigan Crow, is Morrigan Crow. And she is a young lady, 11 years old. Well, not quite 11 when the book begins. But she's 10 years old and she's about to turn 11. And she is a cursed child. And in this world that Jessica Townsend has created, cursed children are common, not real common, but there are other ones besides her. But she is more of a famous cursed child than others because her father is involved in politics in this world that Townsend has created. So people know her and they know that she's cursed, and she's also on the cursed child registry. Well, cursed children in this world are meant to die, or destined to die on their 11th birthday or on eventide. And Morrigan is anticipating that she's going to die, and her whole family is anticipating that she is going to die. All of Jackalfax in Great Wolfacre, this world that Townsend has created, everybody expects the cursed children to die on eventide, and eventide is coming very quickly for the people of Jackalfax and in this world. So they're anticipating her to die, so her father treats her like garbage. And you get to see Morrigan in 2 different ways. You can tell that she's a character that wants to have the approval of her father, and she wants to be loved by her father, but in the same way, she's very sarcastic. She knows she's going to die. She hasn't quite accepted it. She's a little bit fearful of it, but she knows it's coming. The story starts out with Morrigan being introduced to us and some demonstrations of her being cursed, and you aren't quite sure if this is something that's real or it's just people are blaming her for things. Like they blame her for a gardener having a heart attack because she told that gardener, hey, have a nice day, or your flower beds look really nice today. And weeks later, the gardener dies. So then the family is suing the Crows because Morrigan said to him, your flower beds are looking really nice. So they blame her for it. It's a little ridiculous, but that's the essence of this curse that Morrigan has. As you hear more and more about her horrible father, who thinks that hunting dogs are more worthwhile to him than his own daughter, you see how terrible he is, and he wants to be rid of Morrigan as soon as possible and just move on with his life. And that's the sense you get from him. So Morrigan is this character that is really trying to deal with her death, knowing that she's going to die, and also trying to get the approval of her father that wants no part of her at all. Well, eventually, through a series of events, Morrigan is whisked away to this world known as Nevermoor by this mysterious man named Jupiter North. Jupiter North comes and gets her and saves her from the hunt of smoke and shadow, and takes her off into this world called Nevermoor in the fifth pocket of the Free State. And it's this world that not a lot of people know about. It's this hidden world, and Jupiter whisks her off there, and she is set to become part of what is called the Wondrous Society, or the trials to get into the Wondrous Society, where it gets the name, the Trials of Morrigan Crow. And throughout the book, you're introduced to some great characters like Jupiter, and you have to read the description of Jupiter because it's fantastic. But you also get characters like Hawthorne Swift, who ends up becoming really good friends with Morrigan, and their dynamic together is really, really cool. And Hawthorne is training to be a dragon rider, and he is also in the trials to become part of the Wondrous Society. So throughout the book, they go through all the different trials that Morrigan has to face, and this whole time she is looking to find out what her knack is. Everybody in the Wondrous Society is supposed to have a knack, some special gift that sets them apart from everybody else, like Hawthorne being a dragon rider, and another character, Cadence, who can basically, people don't remember her. And so she uses that to her advantage. And you find out later that she's a mesmerist. And so she can kind of get away with things that other people can't. So she has a knack. This whole time, Morrigan doesn't know what her knack is. And Jupiter refuses to tell her. So the last trial to get into the Wondrous Society is demonstrating your knack. And this whole time, Morrigan is wondering what she can do and how she's going to get into the Wondrous Society if she doesn't have a knack. And if she doesn't get in, then she has to go back to Jackalfax, which means that she is going to die. And Jupiter keeps telling her, don't worry, I got this. You'll be okay. But refuses to tell her what her knack is. And we don't know if Jupiter knows or not. Now it goes to the end, and obviously there's more books, and you find out a whole lot about Morrigan and what she is destined to become. And I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but I'll have to say that this ending and the whole book does not disappoint. You'll be very happy with Jessica Townsend's Nevermoor, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. And like I said at the beginning, it is part of a series. The second one, Wondersmith, is absolutely spectacular, and it's hard to do a follow-up to such a good book, but Jessica Townsend has done a great one. And the second one, Wondersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow, just leaves you wanting more and more and more. So like I said, I look forward to Hollowpox, which is coming in the spring here, or really the winter, February and March. The other thing I want to talk about is these covers. These covers are fantastic. These covers come from the UK. The US editions are pretty good also. They're just not as good as this. And the main reason for that is the beautiful hardcover on the inside of the book. Not only is the dust jacket fantastic, you see Jupiter North on the back, as ginger could be. And it says, "Step boldly." This cover here is fantastic. I love the cover. My bookmark fell out, but I love the cover to this book. So that's another reason why I like to get the UK editions of this Nevermoor series and some of the other ones that I read also. So I hope that you'll give Nevermoor a chance. It is such a good book. Go check it out. The characters are fantastic. The story is fantastic, and you really just emotionally connect to this main character, Morrigan Crow, and you really feel for her, and you really want her to succeed, and you're pulling for her. It reminded me so much of when I read Harry Potter for the first time, and you're really pulling for Harry, and Harry is such a great character, and Jessica Townsend does that with Morrigan Crow and really makes you feel for her. Thank you for joining us for this first book drop on Nevermoor, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. I hope you come back for more. Come back to Row 9 Studios. You can find us here on YouTube, and also you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Row 9 Studios. Make sure you like, share, comment, tell me about your experience with Nevermoor, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. We'll see you next time.